Today I would like to share a little ongoing project that I have been doing since the summer of 2019. For some reason, I'm actually not really sure how and why that happened. I decided to tackle all of my unfinished objects in journaling and scrapbooking, project life, all that, and pulled them all out, looked through them, and then set myself the goal to work on one of those projects or every month. And that held up until I think the end of January of 2020, maybe even February, I'm not really sure. But I was able to finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 journals that I had started in 2017. I underwent the enormous project of filling up a Cocoa Daisy Dory every month, and that was a lot. I wasn't able to keep up, and by the end of the year I had piled up so many notebooks that were only halfway finished that I just needed to put them away and decide at a later date what I was going to do with them. The same thing or similar thing happened to me in 2018. I decided to use the mini Daisy Dory to do a monthly journal, and even though it was a lot of fun, again I wasn't able to keep up throughout the month and finish it. And then the next month started and I worked on the next project. So I tackled one each month, and when the pandemic came and things were upside down, I needed to give myself a lot of grace, and that was one of those. I just didn't continue working on those projects, but now I feel like I'm back with my creative energy. Another thing that happened was that I used the Hobonichi Kaizen for the second half of 2020, and that took up a lot of my creative time and energy, and I enjoyed it immensely, but it didn't leave room for anything else. So now that my health, I had neck problems, so I'm trying to sit upright and put my shoulders back and lengthen through the crown of my head. So in, what was that? Then the back problems where I couldn't really do much with my hand, the neck problems. So I really needed to scale back on knitting, on all of my creative projects, and just do the minimal of what I was used to. And so now my neck is better. I am not using a Hobonichi Kaizen to journal in every day anymore, which frees a little bit of space, and so that freed my creative curiosity and energy back onto the unfinished objects. Now, I have also not been able to keep up with the Hobonichi weeks that I used as a documenting tool in 2020. So that is one of the things that I'm going to focus on a lot of energy. But I wanted to show you what I have been able to finish by just looking at the thing that was in my pile and deciding what I was going to do. And I have lots of those projects. I will link them all in the description box below so you can see what I was working on. It feels very, very satisfying to finish something. And if you haven't done that in a long time, I encourage you to go through your stash to, first of all, say goodbye to those projects that just don't work for you anymore. Maybe declare something finished when the book isn't full yet, because you will have less guilt and feel open for finishing maybe other projects if you let go of what you don't need to. Wow, now I'm totally confused. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, you will feel more inspired when you actually take a look at what you have and get rid of things and tackle the things that are left over. And by setting yourself small goals and not taking on an overwhelming project, maybe at the end of the year, one unfinished object is better than none, right? So I have brought them all up in my basket. So this is everything that I was able to finish since I started that little project. I think yes. So I started in August and I finished this one. I don't think I did a lot of journaling. I had lots of the photos already printed, and so that was really easy to just stick them in and call it done. And then I worked, so that was August, then this was September. Again, right here, this one is one of those that I finished. It doesn't need to have a lot of journaling. The main thing is the photos are stuck in. I call it finished, like right here. Maybe at that time when I was working on this journal, I would have written more, but it doesn't need to be. So really like this one. Then I worked on this October one. This one is also finished. I think, yes. So in September, I would do these weekly memory keeping spreads or documenting spreads. That is something that I really truly enjoy, and I have done in several different formats, and you will see it in another one as well. But in October, I went to my sister's wedding, and so I decided to document each day on one page. So to leave room for more photos. And so yeah, again, I had this photo printed. I don't know what my feelings were. I really enjoyed running that day, and so I just put this down, and it's done. Then I went and moved over to this Thankful 30. I started that one in November 2018, and I got probably halfway through, and so what I decided in November of 2019 is to just continue. I had made a list, and so I just finished it up. I looked for ephemera to add to this. So this is a kit from Feed Your Craft. I used a Midori passport insert in grid. I stuck one of the cards on this side, and then I would stamp the day, and put a die cut or an embellishment that was similar or would represent the thing that I was thankful for. And so I decided to finish that in 2019. And so here, this one says 2019, and this one says 2018. So yes, I did not give up. I just decided to put it aside for a while, and then in November 2019, I finished, and it feels so good. That is 4 notebooks right there. And then that was 2018 as well. I was so tempted to use those passport inserts from Coco Daisy. I filled them up to the brim. It was a lot of fun. So here I did a week on 2 pages to give myself a little bit more room. So what was that one? Saturday, Sunday. Let me go to. So I would put Monday through Wednesday, Thursday on one spread, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the other one. And then the rest of the book. So I would use the divided pages for the weekly spreads, and then have the other pages be documentation. And I took the book apart before I started using it and added in more texture. Like this is a pattern paper, and then what else did I put in here? Here is another pattern paper that I added a tag to. So this is more of, has a junk journal vibe. There's a tip-in for pictures, and that, I think I was able to finish October that year, but I wasn't able to finish November, and so I stuck in the stuff afterwards. Again, not a lot of journaling, and especially the December one, when we went on vacation, I wasn't able to finish, and so again, I just stuck in the photos in order to get it done. And wow, doesn't this look so cool? I'm so happy about this. And so what you will see in the next part of this video is all the projects that aren't finished yet, and you will see whether I decide to just take it apart or finish, and a timeline of when I am going to finish. The thing that I'm going to focus on most in the beginning of this year is catching up in the Hobonichi weeks of 2020. So let's just look at what I have in this box. This is an iris case, 12 by 12, and this contains most of the projects that I was working on. And let's see how far I have come. This one was a B6 journal from, or insert from Coco Daisy. And what I was doing in here was adding the favorites that the app like meter that isn't supported anymore put together for me based on follower likes, and then other things like being on the Coco Daisy planner team, February, then what else was in here? Being a guest designer for Pretty Little Studio, when I was able to reach 2,000 Instagram followers, that was in March 2018, and stuff like that. And I haven't continued after this, even though I printed those, and I have decided that it is time to deconstruct this notebook, to keep the paper or parts of the papers that I still would like to keep, but to let go of the assumption and the expectation that I have for myself to finish this at one point. I am not someone anymore. I don't even know if I was back then, who defines my worth through likes, and who comments on my posts and who doesn't. Maybe that was true at some point, but right now I feel this is just not me anymore, and so I don't really need to keep this. So I will maybe take out, I have to read what is on the back, what I wrote about these things, but here I would just copy the text of the piece of each image, what was written underneath, and write it here, and so I can look that up on Instagram if that is actually something that I'm interested in. So I will deconstruct this and not leave it on my UFO list. This, I think, is from Wilna Furstenberg, made a cup notebook one year, and I really liked the idea, and so I kept mine, and I actually really like it. So until I will move this to my space, my random papers, but I will keep this just in case. I know I work at Starbucks now, so I don't really need this cup, but I do really like that specific cup. Then I have this My Story journal, and I was thinking about using this or finishing the journaling prompts that were written on there. And what I have decided to do is call this one done and remove all the sticky stuff. Maybe I'm going to put this in here still and then call this one done. So this one goes out of this box, but not because I'm giving up. It's because I decide that this challenge is finished. And then I have, wow, this is my December 2017 daily December journal that I started, and I love it. It's just so good. I really enjoyed working on this project. It's not finished. I have printed the photos. I have put everything where it belongs. It just needs to be stuck in. Yeah. But the big thing is that right now, like finishing this right now would be a good thing. But I have to admit, I don't want to take the time doing that right now. I don't want to clutter up my creative time in January to finish this. And so I still love it a lot. I think this is something that I will enjoy and cherish for a long time. So what I'm going to do is, in my planner, I have a yearly overview for projects, and I'm going to write this into the December slot. Actually, I have made this list in 2019 in the summer. These are all the UFOs, sewing, knitting, journaling, memory keeping, and then the things that I would love to do or work on. And I have crossed this one off because it's not going to be continued. I've decided that this one is done. And here is the December 2017 journal, and I have right here, this is this list, the projects in 2021, and so I'm going to write the December 2017 on here, and that's when I, hopefully, if this works for the whole year, I will know that this is what I'm going to work on then. And there is a kitty. I think they're hungry, maybe, I don't know. They seem to be very, very interested in what I'm doing right now. So I'm just gonna leave this one out so I can talk you through the things. So I'm going to keep this just right as it is. I think what I'm going to do though is take those washi tapes out, because really, why am I not using them? I have had them in this bag for 3 years, never used. They're pretty. I should use them. So this one stays here with all the things, even all the notes that I still have. So that's this one. And then I have the same thing for 2000 and for November. And again, I think wow, they're playing games downstairs, so it's loud. Again, I'm going to keep this because I really do, and I really loved using it was too much because I had so many to catch up on. It was a really great concept. I used one traveler's notebook insert from Coco Daisy for 1 month and filled it up to the brim with photos, journaling, and I did some, I think I did planning too. Did I not? No, not this one. Here I was doing a daily 1 page per day, filled it with photos and memory keeping. And it was fun. It was really nice way of keeping track of our lives. It was just, it's one of those things that you need to do in order to stay on track and not fall behind. You would probably need to do this every day. And I, just with the Hobonichi cousin that I was using for every day this past 6 months, I realized that even though I love how it looks and how it works out, that's just not me. So what else is on this list since I have it out? I have Project Life 2018. That is something that really, I think there's like 7 or 8 weeks. I tried it in October, I think. I just didn't get around to it, so I put it away again. So I'm gonna wait until the urge to use and do Project Life comes back. I have my memory planner of 2019. Wow, that is one thing, again, that still hasn't been touched in ages. I'm in February, no, actually I'm in March. But I have to confess or say that I actually went ahead and at least I sorted my photos. And so that is one thing that I'm slowly trying to work on, is sort the photos and start getting printed, because once the photos are printed, then it doesn't need to be very decorated, or I can just, slap them in there, and then everything that I would like to document or write about is done. And I'm thinking of, I'm not sure if I want to leave, see here I actually decorated the divider with an art print that one of my German friends made. I'm actually pretty far away from the idea of using a memory planner for this. I don't really have use for the monthly pages, so I might just glue this here and then use the easy way of using scrapbooking paper to cover this up, take out everything that I don't use. Oh, here I was trying to use to document the 100 days, which I fell off really quickly. Yes, so I will just use the pages as they come and slap stuff in and be done with it. This, just adding pictures from each day and filling up the memories like that would also be a really good idea. I really don't know yet how I'm going to finish this. This is another one of those, still needs a lot of brain, and right now as I'm filming this I don't feel like I have the brain powers for this, but I will put, where will I put this? On my someday maybe, not my someday maybe list, but my December list, just so that I have a reminder. 2019 photos and keep track of the progress. That's what it's supposed to mean. Okay, so what else? I have my scrapbooking layouts. They are in a different box. There's like maybe 5 or 6. I'm just going to leave them here because I do still feel I have feelings towards scrapbooking, same with Project Life, but at the moment there's no fire, and I hope that this urge or this interest will come back, and then I will take those things and see what comes up and what I'm going to do with those. And if it doesn't come, right now they're not using up too much space, and they're not using up space that I need for something else, so I will keep them. But once the time is here that maybe I need to downsize because I'm moving to a place where there's not as much storage as there is right now, then I will reconsider this decision. I have a summer journal from 2016. I don't even know where that is. But I actually even have the ephemera for that. I really would have loved to document more. I will need to check that out as well. That is something that maybe, you know what? I don't know our plans for the summer or anything, but definitely I really have noticed that working on projects in the months that I was experiencing them definitely helps working through them. Journal 16, just so that I can look through this one more time and decide what to do. And then I have these Traveler's Notebook inserts for my boys, which again I have not worked on at all. And I really don't know if I want to create these mini scrapbooking spreads or if they are going to be more organic, the way that I'm journaling in my traveler's note, in my Hobonichi right now. So this is again something, this doesn't take up much space. And again, I will just wait and see how my feelings towards those are. Two things that I really feel very strongly about are those. I would really love to finish these this year. And then another thing that I really would like to finish is this 2020 weeks, where if you have been following me for a while, there is a huge gap in starting in June. I have already caught up a little bit to September, so through the summer. Like when we took in the kittens to foster them, that's where I fell off this journal. And so there's to September and then October. I would love to really use the time this year to finish that if and when I have the time. So that is definitely one of the focus areas that I would like to. I would love to be done with this before I want to work on those. That would be ideal. So then if I get these two and this one completely caught up, then I would be really, really happy. And the rest will come when the rest will come. But I was just going to update you on where I am right now with this. I'm not going to beat myself up about any of the unfinished projects. Sometimes that just happens. Just a reminder that you do not have to finish those. It's totally okay to say that it's fine. Put them on your shelf half finished. That's more than nothing at all. Or if it's just not you anymore, you are absolutely allowed to just trash a project that you don't care for anymore. Leave a comment below and tell me how you're tackling those unfinished projects that pile up. Do you go through once a year? What do you do? I'm really curious to know. And yeah, I will see you soon.